Welcome everyone. Uh, I wanted to do this AI related course just to give everyone an idea of what AI can and cannot do, because right now there is a lot of speculation and then a lot of fear among people about what AI can do and cannot do. So before I get into that, I would like to give you a brief update, a brief outline of how the course would be run. This course is going to run in two languages. One is in Sinhala and one is in English. And it will be delivered in two platforms, Twitter and YouTube, as you are already aware. Each of these videos will be about 15 to 30 minutes in length. And some of these sessions that I'm going to show later can take multiple sessions because of the amount of content that we need to cover. It will be a technical uh, course, but I would like to make sure that anyone in the managerial space joins this as well, because there is a lot of things around AI that a manager would need to manage. So for Q&A, I'm going to use the Twitter page. There will be a pin for each week's lesson, and then you should be able to go into my Twitter and then post your questions in there. Any feedback and comments for each of the videos, I would really appreciate if you can provide me some. Could be done through the YouTube channel, and I would take a look at them as soon as I see them. And content will be dropped weekly instead of daily, because each of these topics require some time for me to prepare the material for. Because I don't do this as a profession, it's something that I do on my spare time, because I want people to learn these things properly and then understand it so that they can use it in their lives, and then they can probably use it in their professional lives as well. So any additional reading material for each of the each of the sessions will be provided through the Twitter account. So you please go in and follow me to Twitter and then subscribe to my YouTube page. I don't like saying that, but that's the only way I can deliver this course for free for everyone who wants to learn. Thank you. So let's get on to the next slide. So who and why? So there's a lot of things happening in the AI space around the world, right? So from self-driving cars, self-landing planes, ChatGPT, DeepMind, and Deepfake. What is there? What is possible with AI? There is limitless possibilities with AI, but with this course, I want to uh, outline some of the changes that are happening around the world, right? And what does the research world say about AI? So according to Forbes, who did a major research, AI markets will grow up to $407 billion by 2027. That's just in another 4 years, it's going to grow that much. So that means there's going to be a lot of jobs created around the AI space. There's going to be a lot of jobs that are going to be lost due to AI. Not going to sugarcoat it, because it's going to happen. But 60% of the businesses will transform their business to adopt AI in some shape or form. So that is like 2/3 of the businesses will start using AI. AI will create 97 million jobs, but could displace about 15% of the workforce worldwide. So this is where the motivation for me to start this course came, right? Because a lot of people might lose their jobs if they are not really skilled, upskilled, or reskilled to learn AI and then adopt AI in what they do right now. So I want to make sure that people get that required skill so that they can use it in and then become successful and ride the new AI tidal wave, if I can call it, that's coming down the pipe. Manufacturing industry. I come from Sri Lanka, so I want to make sure that Sri Lankans are on board this AI boat right now, because most of what we do in Sri Lanka, especially in the garment manufacturing industry, is going to get impacted by this, right? So many people, about 300, many people in that area of work can benefit from this, because that is like the biggest industry that's gonna make the biggest gain out of using AI. That's about $3.8 trillion by 2035. Over 39% of hiring will happen in the data labeling field. I'm going to cover that topic at the end on the data annotation piece. And then data engineers, analysts, mathematicians, statisticians, you need all of these to run a proper AI model. So you need to think about reskilling and upskilling to be able to capitalize on these job opportunities that's coming down. So who am I targeting with this? I'm going to target the tech professionals who would like to learn AI, who doesn't have any background in AI right now. I would like them to be part of this course. It's free of charge. There's no requirement for you to do this, but I would recommend that you take this course and learn some new things about AI. I'm hoping that I'm going to teach you something new that you haven't known before. And anyone who's in the mid to senior level managers, these are the people that I would like to target more, because these are the people who can start driving these AI related changes through the businesses, right? So that's why I want them to be part of this. And students, these are the other key factor that I need to target, right? So because students are the ones who's going to take on this, are the ones who's going to get jumped into this AI field. And if you jump in now and learn the right skill sets, the sky is your limit, right? So if you're a student, I would say get your pen and paper ready. You're going to learn a lot today. In the next sessions, when I start talking and diving deep into these topics that are related to AI. And then generally at the last, anyone who's curious about AI can learn a lot from this session as well. So that's that. Let's go to the next slide. Oh yeah, before we go. So with that, I wanted to include this phrase or French, a phrase from a French philosopher, Jean-Paul Sartre, who noted that life is a letter C between B and D, with B being birth, D being death. Life is all about the choices that you make. So I think you are making the right choice by joining this session and then starting your learning journey in AI. Okay, so the purpose. As I said earlier in my earlier slides, you need to upskill or reskill for the upcoming revolution, right? So a lot of, if you are in North America, you probably have already seen a lot of changes with regards to AI in the industry you are working in. If you're in Asia Pacific region, you've already started seeing this as well. But I don't know in the subcontinent, Sri Lankan subcontinent, if there is a lot of changes happening right now, because I've not seen a lot of changes coming through there, little to no changes in terms of AI. So maybe this is a good time for Sri Lankans to start learning AI as well. Maybe like if you're a student, as I said, this would be a good launch pad for you to start exploring what you can do in the AI space, as well as for the tech professionals. And then we don't want to get stuck in the past like with other technologies, right? So what I see is a major shift, right? This type of shift we saw back in 2000 with the internet, right? When the internet launched, some companies reshaped their business around the internet, and then they have become major players in the internet sphere, right? Like Facebook, to name one, and then Microsoft and Google, they too went through major changes in their business to capitalize on this promise of internet, right? So that's what these companies are doing right now too, because they've now realized that AI is the next big thing. So they are investing billions of dollars into this market for them to capitalize on some of these new techs that's coming out. So this is where you should also start to look at AI and then adopt them quickly so that you can succeed. And then the other purpose of this is give enough understanding of AI and machine learning, right? Because these are sometimes scary words. So if you understand what's behind AI and how it works, then you would not fear it as much, and then the adoption becomes easier. And for me, I don't really like calling it AI. It's nothing artificial about it. It's just how things are learned, and then it's the way people learn, and it's the way the computers learn. That's why I like calling it machine learning more so than AI, but AI is the buzzword, so let's use that. And then the reason I want the managers here is because they are the one who would determine the ripeness of an AI solution in their business for some of the applications or some of the currently what is it called, legacy processes that they use, right? So they wouldn't at least be able to answer 3 questions in this space for that specific application of AI or potential for an AI. They would know how does it work. At least they know how does it work. What is it good at? So what is AI good at and really good at in terms of their business, and what should it never do in their business, so that they can provide put some controls and then guidances, and then control the ethics around the use of AI in their business. Okay, let's look at the oh yeah, I forgot. I have a fun question for you. So before we start, do you think machines can ever compare to the computing power of the human brain? Just let me know what you think, what your answers are in the Twitter page, so that I can use that. And then you are in for a surprise at the end. So let's go and look at what's installed for us. So the course outline, I'm gonna do the first session in the next video, where I'll introduce to you to the course content. So this is, I'll just walk through the course content here, and then you'll understand what the course would look like, what the structure of the course is. And the session 2 is the next one, next video that I'm going to release. It's going to be around what are the types of AI that's around there. What is computer vision study, right? And natural language processing. We'll look at the big data analytics piece, and then how this natural language processing and computer vision plays a role in the robotics space, and then how robotics uses AI for the robots to understand how to work, right? So immigrants from the future, that's the term that I use, because it's a book that Isaac Asimov wrote back in the 50s, and there was a movie that Will Smith starred in called I, Robot. So this outlines these Asimov's 3 laws that applies to robots. So we'll touch on that a little bit, just to keep the course content a little bit more fun, because it's a little technical. And then we'll talk about the general and narrow and general AI in the types of AI, and then how the human level intelligence, how systems or machines will mimic human level intelligence, and whether they have already exhibited human level intelligence, and then talk about a little bit of singularity. That's what everyone's worried about, Terminator and all, where a singular computer that's achieved singularity, Skynet, destroys the human race, right? So that's a long way away, in my opinion, but let's talk about that as well during the course of the course. And then on session 3, we just start that'll be where we start diving a little bit deeper into what these are, right? So we'll talk about automated decision making, augmented intelligence, or I would like to call it intelligence augmentation, where computers and humans work together and to make certain processes more efficient, right? So that's where we would talk about the augmented intelligence. And we'll talk about the importance of data in AI. So AI is, in my opinion, nothing without the data. So each of the organizations have their own, what do you call, have their own set of data that makes them unique from everyone else in the business, right? So they can capitalize on that uniqueness and the amount of data that they have. Like, you can hire consultants to come and build you an AI model that does wonders, but if they don't have the data, that model doesn't do much. So data is key. I would call it the petroleum of modern world. So, and then there is billions of data that's collected worldwide every day. So data is important. So we'll talk about the importance of data in the AI space. And let's start now getting more deeper. We'll start looking at machine learning, how the machine learning work, what machine learning is for the first part, and then how machines learn, and how deep learning works with neural networks, and what deep learning is and how the deep learning actually works. And then we'll look at supervised and semi-supervised learning, and reinforcement learning, we would call semi-supervised learning. So we'll talk about all that, those topics in session 5, and we'll talk about imitation learning, especially in the robotics area, and then neural networks, more into the neural networks and deep learning aspects around that supervised and semi-supervised learning topic. And then we'll start getting into more about the neural network, because AI is nothing without a neural network, right? So you have to have a neural network behind an AI system that can do the work for the neural network. So let's look at the RNNs, we call recurrent neural networks, and the most common one is the convolutional neural networks. And then we'll look at the generative adversarial networks, that's the GANs, that's what everyone uses for deepfake. And then a version of that, or another type of a GAN that can do a deepfake, called variational autoencoders or vector quantized variational neural networks. And then we'll talk about the teachable AI that each of the companies have outlined. But before that, we'll talk about the computer vision study and look at image classification architecture, augmentation through data set speed and cost, image recognition. Let's look at the image recognition piece, because for computer vision to work, the image recognition is a key part, right? How it works, detection and segmentation of the image. We'll talk about that as well. And the next topic is the natural language processing. This is also, as everyone's already using, Google Home, Alexa, all of those are using these AI features right now. And then it's used a lot with the big data analytics and sentiment analysis in some of these surveys and some of the stuff that you use through Google and Google searches. And also these are really important. And then some of the comments that you put on Twitter and all, they use these sentiment analysis and deep learning of languages, or natural language processing, natural language understanding, to extract some of the values off of the stuff that you're typing in, and then based on that classify your words, or classify your comments as abusive or sexually in nature, and then block you as well, right? So these are stuff that we'll talk around the natural language processing piece. And we'll start talking more about the mathematical models behind this, the Markov decision process for reinforcement learning, value iteration, Q values, model-driven learning, model-based learning. These are, I won't go a lot deep into those, but I'll just explain what these are just so that you understand them. And reward engineering, how does the machine learn? So reward engineering is what makes the machine know what to do based on whether it's correct or not, or how correct the action it took. And then again, some parts of imitation learning we'll cover. And then we're going to also look at the teachable machine. So the teachable, I have to come back to the teachable machine because there is different tools that are out there. So there is a Microsoft Teachable AI that's called TieX, and the Google Teachable Machines. We'll look at those during the course so that you understand, okay, maybe I can use this for this or use this for that. You don't really need to build models now because there are so many open source models out there that you can use. So we'll look at those at the end. I'll cover them in the last module, module 10, where we look at the future of AI and the next steps. What's AI going to do in business? And then ethics around AI, ethical considerations around AI, cybersecurity considerations around AI, and then future of the human AI relationship, that's intelligent augmentation, and then what role people will play, what role the AI will play. We'll talk about that in that section. And for managers, the AI strategy. This is very important. How would you roll out an AI-based solution in your business, and how to make sure that your business goals or your roadmap for your business is achieved through the use of AI. And we look at the tools. This is important, the tools section. We'll look at what tools are out there. I'm not going to go into how to use TensorFlow or PyTorch, but I'll certainly explain what those are, and then what Microsoft Cognitive Tools can give you so that you can explore them if you're a developer on your own. And then some avenues for monetizing AI. So AI brings a lot of possibilities for people, right? So you don't really need to be having a degree, or does not need to have a computer degree, or know how to use computers, or know how to be a developer, right? But you can still make a lot of money out of AI, because most of the money from AI, or most of the value from AI, comes from data, as I said. So data, without the proper labels, does not make any sense to a computer, right? So you have to have certain labeling done. So we call them annotations. So annotationing is something that brings a lot of opportunities for people to become data labelers. So I'll share some ways you can make an extra buck or two by doing some of the labeling work that's available. So I'll share that information as well, and share some open source models and opportunities in the Google and AWS spaces as well. So with